Let's discuss this now with Eleonora Tafuro Ambrosetti, a senior research fellow at the Russia, Caucasus and Central Asia Center. She joins me from Milan. Thank you so much for your time on this news hour. Eleonora, how significant is it that we're hearing in this communique from NATO this rebuke of China? Does NATO now see China as a military threat at all?
It's certainly significant that there is an explicit declaration written down on paper on the final communique. So definitely it's a departure for the alliance, but it also speaks of a wider tendency, a trend that we've been witnessing throughout the months and years. China is increasingly seen as a threat by the United States. Before the large-scale invasion of Ukraine, China and Russia were named as the biggest threat to U.S. security, and NATO is following the US's footsteps, and it's putting names on the enablers of Russia's war against Ukraine. What are the consequences for China's behavior is not said in the communique, but we can assume it will be more secondary sanctions targeting the companies that allow Russia circumvent Western sanctions, and maybe more measures to exclude China from global markets.
And it will be interesting to see how that plays out, considering that many NATO members, the EU in particular, having put sanctions on Russia, but Russia's economy is actually expected to grow this year. Away from that, there has been this pledge of a $43 billion package to Ukraine. Do you think NATO members are also trying to push through that package ahead of the November US presidential election, just in case there is a change in US leadership? Donald Trump expected to possibly roll back, if he becomes president, any more support of Ukraine?
Certainly, there has been an attempt to make Ukraine aid Trump-proof, and the American election in November are looming large on the summit. Obviously, there are worries about a possible Trump's comeback, but also about the rise in the importance and number of far-right movements in the European elections and in the European member states as well. So although the money that has been pledged is less than expected, because initial talks were talking about $100 billion, the attempt to make it sustainable and reliable is definitely something that Ukraine welcomes, because, of course, Kyiv depends very much on Western support.
And one of the things that Western allies are giving Kyiv are more air defense systems, which Zelensky has been asking for, something like the F-16 fighter jets. How big of a difference is that going to make for Ukraine's army within the next few months, given that Russia has ramped up some of its strikes?
It's difficult to assess the impact that it will have on the battleground. First, because we don't know the exact numbers of the F-16 or of the Patriot, all the weapons that have been pledged for Ukraine. We don't know the exact date that they will arrive in Ukraine. They talk about the summer, but obviously delays can be possible, given also the fact that the Ukrainians need special training to use those sophisticated weapons. So it's very difficult to assess, but it's certainly a message that Western leaders are trying to send to Russia, that they will keep supporting Ukraine, and that support will not go away. It's reliable, and it will continue over time.
Eleonora Tafuro Ambrosetti in Milan. Good to get your analysis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.